We're live. Hello, everyone, and shout out to each and every one of you. And thank you guys so much for tuning into your girl Siren on the Siren Speak Show. Hey, y'all. Hello. Thank y'all for being patient with me because you know your girl can be a little late, but I always get there if I can. Okay, I will be here. Now, let me tell y'all one thing y'all gonna know. If I change that picture, like if y'all see that regular picture that says like is the red and black, then y'all know I'll be late. But when I change that picture, you know, okay, she coming. Okay, just be patient. You know, I'll be there. Okay, so y'all, we're gonna be talking about some stuff. Today, we are going to be talking about some stuff that you guys need to know. Now, just know that when Siren do come live, I'm on here giving y'all some tea, okay? I feel like, who that was? Was that Kanye West? Who that was that said that I put my life at risk when I come at y'all with this, okay? Yes. But thank you so much to everyone who's tuning up into the building. And thank you to everyone who come in and give the video a big old fat thumbs up. I appreciate you, y'all. That's right. This knowledge is free. It don't cost you nothing. And you can watch Netflix and chill all day, but I guarantee you, okay, when you finish watching Siren, you're definitely going to level up and rise, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with the topics, you guys. We are talking about, y'all, it was just some stuff that was just coming up, honey, in these messages. We're talking about the uploads begin. Oh, y'all. The uploads are beginning. We're talking about spiritual warfare, okay? All of these battles that we are fighting, y'all, that we probably don't even know we're fighting. And we're going to talk about how to win, okay? There's a way for you to win every battle. Okay, we're going to talk about how to weather the storm, regardless of what it is. How to weather the storm, you guys. The mark of the beast came up, y'all. The mark of the beast came up. I was like, oh. When I got tuned into this message, I was like, the mark of the beast? We're thinking this is something that is to come. Oh, child, wait till we get to talking about that. And we're also going to talk about the recent situation that occurred with the, oh God, what was he, y'all? The guy, Charlie Kirk. Okay, I think that was his name. Yes, that was his name. So rest in peace to him. Okay, and my condolences to his family and his supporters and everyone who really, truly cared for him. You know, and, you know, this guy was taken away from us live, okay, while he was giving some sort of speech, y'all. That has got to be very crazy. But anywho, they put the message out there for us, so we definitely will be decoding that message, all right, over on Patreon, because we have a lot that we're going to be talking about today. But listen, if you do your own decoding, you will probably get the message loud and clear as to what it is that is being said to y'all. They be telling us, please decode the news. You are being talked to. You're being advised. They're not talking to us the way that we are talking right now, y'all. They talk to you in these, it's like a movie, right? It's just like a movie blowing up like the World Trade. It's music. They give it to you in the form of entertainment. Okay, you have to know what is being said, because there are times that storms are coming, right? We are going to be experiencing storms. They pretty much let you know there's a storm coming. Okay, they tell it to you right in your face. You just have to know how to get the message, how to decode the message, and how to break it down into or convert it into something that you can understand. But there was definitely a message that was given unto the folk via the ending of Mr. Charlie Kirk. Okay, the president came out, okay, and said, well, you know, he was such a nice guy and he really went in for the people. And I love the way that he just really put it all out there for the people. And he represented such patriotic goodness. And we're going to continue to represent that patriotic goodness that he was putting out there for the y'all. It's all a stage. You just got to know. It's like when you go to the movies, you pick what movie you want to watch and you go and you watch it. Okay. So it's all a stage, right? So, what I want you guys to know is, this is just Siren speaking on the Siren Speak show. Everything that I am saying is not fact and has not been proven. It is merely me and my little delusional arse thinking outside of a box that doesn't really exist, but does exist to me because I'm the one who created it. Okay? Now, you got Trump, who is allegedly their president. Okay? He's allegedly the president. It is what it is. He's the guy in charge. He's the huncho, cuncho, whatever they call him. Now, allegedly, Mr. Charlie, okay, was allegedly attempting to run for presidency. It was scheduled. It was put out there that, this was going to be the competition in the future. So when we have our Mr. Trump, right? When we have your president, your precious president, giving this guy his condolences and how sad he is to see him go and how he's going to continue to represent him. I just find it to be quite strange. Now, do I think he was going to be competition for Trump? I don't. Not for Donald. Not for Donald. But Ivanka, eliminate the competition early on so it doesn't look, as if it was anything strange. That's just my little 2 cents. When we saw the Simpsons and you saw the young lady who was allegedly, president, we all thought Kamala was it. Hell, some of us thought it was going to be Oprah, or some of us thought it was going to be Michelle, right? We were all like, who's the woman? Who's the president? Who's the woman president? We're all searching and looking, and I think that it may be Ivanka. Okay? That's what I'm thinking. Now, the thing about it is, I don't think Ivanka is going to run on what side we think she's going to run on. Okay? I think it's going to be some weird that goes down behind the whole, Ivanka, okay, thing. But yeah, if she's going to be, coming up and he's in the way, maybe it was, I think Trump them is associated or connected deeply to time travel. So perhaps sometimes we can move into the future and we can see what's going on. Okay. When you have that ability, you can move into the future and you can see what's going on. And then you can change it in the future, which when you change it in the future, see, you don't want to change it in the current state. You don't want to do that in the present because you could get caught easily. Because there's more people in the present than there are in the future or the past. So if I want to you up, I'm going to go to your future self and up, okay? I'm not going to do anything to you right here, right now. Oh, no. I'm going to go into your future self because you want to know why? Your conscious is not there. Your conscious is too busy here in the present. So there's a lot of things that can be done to a lot of us in the future or the past. And we say, well, where is the future? The future is actually happening right now. The past is happening right now. The past is constantly being changed. The past is not settled. It's not a settled energy. The past is not something that, oh, that's what it is. That's what, no, the past is always changing, which is why we've seen them change the past right in front of our face, with Fruit Loops, okay? With Egg McMahon, they know what his name, Ed McMahon, when they say he wasn't the one over there handing out them big ass checks, knocking on your door early on a Sunday morning, and you coming up to the door with a roller in the front. and he telling you you don't want his money, they say, no, that never happened. What do you mean? He never did that. How dare you say he did that? And we know he did. Be like, okay, look, you might, but you probably don't change the past. Yes, they do it all the time. You know, Chick-fil-A used to be CHIC, now it's CHICK. You know, there's a lot of things where they go in and they change the past. You know, they just don't tell us a lot. So, anywho, I personally think that, you know, this guy was competition. Okay. And I'm telling you guys this because I want you to know you are also competition, which is why we have a constant spiritual warfare that's going on. You are also competition. If you tune more into your future self, if you are able to live multidimensionally, meaning, Siren, how can I tune into my future self? Honey, I'm too busy trying to handle my past or my present self. You know, I don't know how to deal with your future self. Listen, when you go to sleep, you are able to travel to, or you are able to move through different dimensions. You are able to access different versions of yourself, different realities. You are also able to choose an avatar as to who you want to be in that reality as well. You don't have to move into your future as yourself. You can travel into your future and choose a totally different avatar. There's so many different things that you guys can do and that these people can do. This is why when they come at you in your dream state, they don't come at you in the form of themselves. They will come at you in the form of somebody you know. They will come at you in the form of a sister, a mother, a grandmother, a friend, a coworker, someone you know. They need you to trust that if they're giving you something in the dream state, they want to make sure you're going to be able to take it. So they can choose an avatar. That's what these things are. They're avatars. This is why I'm telling you guys, the uploading is beginning. It has already begun. The things that we see majority of the time on the news, according to Siren on the Siren Speak show, may perhaps be CGI. Okay, is your president really sitting there hosting? That man probably somewhere with one foot in a bowl of Epsom salt and water, the other foot on the bed, and he rocking. You know, is he really sitting in a chair in the White House giving us a live speech? I doubt it. The upload has begun, okay? The upload has begun. These are things that we need to know. This is how we win in the battle if we know the game that's being played. But if we are not aware of the game that's being played, if we are not aware of the rules, then we fall short and we continue to lose, okay? We do not collect 200. We do not pass go. We go straight to jail. And we have to come back here and do it all over again until we figure it out, okay? All right. Hey, everyone. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey to everyone who's in the building. Hey, Crystal. Crystal say, happy Monday, everyone. Yes, it is Monday, Moon Day. Okay. Monday. Shout out to y'all. Hey, Jen. Jen is in the building, y'all. Hey, Jen. Jen say, hi, everyone. Hey, Jen. Who we have? We have Welsh. Hey, wear the full armor of God, honey. Listen. The full armor of God, do you know what that is? Do you guys know what the full armor of God is? Okay, let me give you Siren's version of the full armor of God, of true wealth. And that is knowledge, wisdom. Okay, that is the main armor of God, to know, to understand, because if you are aware, you will be able to perform. Okay, you must understand. A lot of us, we don't, when they said in the Bible, my people perish due to lack of, okay, we perish Due to the lack of knowledge, they continue to win over us because we are so, God, please come save me. God says, I have given you everything you need to save yourself. So we got to look at it like a parent versus a child. As a parent, you're going to nurture your child, right? But eventually, when you place them on that bicycle, you're going to want them to get to pedaling on their own. Eventually, you must let go. And when God sent us here via this vessel, God let go. I'm here with you. I'm watching the whole scene. But I'm going to allow you to fall if you do. And I'm going to encourage you to get back up. And I'm going to allow you to fall again. And I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to stand there and watch you fall and get back up. Because that is how you're going to learn. That is how you're going to become stronger. That is how you're going to be able to stay in the fight. But if we are constantly depending and waiting for mom or dad to grab us on that bike, mom and dad say, hey, I'll go get you a helmet. I'll go get you some knee pads. I'll get you some elbow pads. I got you everything you need. So even if you fall, you will survive and you will be able to get back up. God is giving you the breath to get back up. Get back in the fight. A lot of us, we are literally not winning because we're not moving. We're not encouraging ourselves. We're steady waiting on something to come, something outside of us to help us, something outside of us. God has never left you. God is there with you throughout every trial and tribulation. God is over there with binoculars like, I see you. When you gonna get up? God is there saying you have a choice to get up or to stay down. Okay? God is not going to be there to really pick you up. He's going to give you the breath that you need to get up. He's going to give you everything that you need to get through this battle. So for those of you who want to know, okay, how do you get up? How do you win? How do you keep moving? You just have to know that God never leaves you. God is always there. When you're going through something and you think I'm alone, God is right there watching. God is right there, front row seat of every aspect of your life, never leaving, ever leaving your side. So, we have to make sure that we do understand and respect that. If you're somebody with one leg, that means that's all you needed in this battle. God didn't give you that other leg because you don't need it. Some people need two legs. Some people can get it with one leg. Okay? We have to know at all times we have everything that we need. That is the armor of God. That is knowing that you always have everything you need, okay, in every battle that you go through. There are so many of us that I work with when I do consultations and people are saying, I just feel like I'm not happy. Well, what will make you? I need more money. You don't need more money. What you need is the knowledge of how to manage the money you already have. See, none of us are taking the time to ask for money management skills. We're just saying, I need more money. That shows that if you can't manage the money that you already have successfully, you don't need more money. More money will cause more problems, because you're just going to mismanage the next large amount of money that you get. So we want to make sure that we are asking the right questions and asking for the right things. Okay? Hold up. Let me give y'all a few seconds up in here. Hey, Lindsay. Well, she say there's holograms. Yes. Okay. Yes. All up and through. Hey, listen. If you let me see. I don't know if you need to vibrate to this. I don't know what it calls, okay, because I'm not a professional in this, all of this hula-hanigans that's going on, okay? But I have experienced quite a bit of it, right? And a lot of the people, when you go in a grocery store, are holograms. A lot of them are placed around you just to give you the experience of being in a grocery store and shopping. Okay. I went down the aisle, right? And in this aisle, there were two young ladies that came down the aisle, right? Now they're coming down the aisle. Perhaps by the time they got to the middle of the aisle, I was like at the end. I looked back, and I was able to see them coming down the aisle. So they were perhaps maybe in the middle of the aisle. I walked around the corner, changed my mind. I didn't even get around the corner. I literally walked around the corner, turned right back around. They were gone. There's no way, unless they ran and skedaddled, that these women could have left out of that aisle. They would have either had to pass by me and come out that way, or they would have had to turn around and go back out the aisle the way that they came in. But in the time that I turned around, like I walked to the aisle, act like I was going to go the other way, but I turned right. I did like a U-turn at the end of the aisle. Literally did a U-turn. I'm like, oh, you know what? Let me go. They were gone. They were gone. They were nowhere to be found. I didn't even see them in the store. I went to around the next aisle. I didn't even see them again. So a lot of people, but like I say, y'all, that's a part of the third dimension, right? That's a part of this experience that we're all living in. That is a part of the third dimension. Even when you're at a stoplight, you're at the light and all of these cars are around you, okay, to give you the experience of being in the third dimension. It doesn't mean all these people are real, okay? It doesn't mean, all these people are real. Okay, it's just to give you the experience. That's just what this universe does. Okay. Hey, Lindsay in the building, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey, Lindsay. Discernment, helmet of salvation, breastplate of righteous, shield of faith. All right. I can't really see all these. Once you get too thick in the thing, I can only read. It all starts to bunch up together. All right, spiritual warfare every day. Knowledge and wisdom is real wealth. Exactly. That's what the wealth is. A lot of people think that generational wealth is the money, but it's not. It's the knowledge, it's the wisdom, it's the continuation of what worked. Okay. It is the continuation of what worked, right? It is the continuation of keeping what kept us ahead. A lot of us, we have denounced our generational wealth and we have inherited newfound ways of existing and living, which can be through different means. Okay. It can be where you live. It can be how you live. It can be, however you were brought up. It could come from so many ways. I don't want to say that it comes from a specific background because it comes from so many different ways. Okay. It really, truly does. But the actual wealth is the knowledge. It is the hidden text. This is why money is printed every day, all day. But your ancestry, your background, your truth is hidden away. Go deep down in the Vatican and find your truth. Okay? You're not going to go deep down in the Vatican and find loads of money. You're not. You're not going to go deep down in any of those places and find loads of money. You're not. But what you will find is your truth, your bloodline. Okay, your inheritance, right? What you need to know, how you can win and how you can survive. All right. So with these uploads, you guys, that are beginning, a lot of these uploads, okay, we're actually giving them permission. Okay, just so y'all know, they're not doing anything against our will. Please understand that. This is how they continue to win. They're not going to do anything against your will. Majority of the things that they're doing to us is because we have given them our free will. We have denounced, okay, our rights. We have denounced ourselves, okay, and we have taken on a new position, a new role. With these uploads, let me tell you what what these uploads are. Okay, I told you guys that. And this is just Siren speaking on the Siren Speak show. I do feel certain generations bring in certain activations. Okay. And this is why I personally feel like when it comes to certain generations, there are certain things that are given. Okay. Boop, when you're a baby, there are certain things that are given to enhance and or deactivate the cargo. And I'm speaking in code, okay? But y'all gonna understand what I mean. Now, let me tell you what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is we have all been merged or transformed, or we have all accepted a role of a corporation. Okay, you are now a corporation. This is why when you get your ID, you get your birth certificate, you are now accepting the role of a corporation, which takes you out of your initial role. Now, what is your initial role? When we all come here, and again, you guys, please understand, this is just Siren speaking on the Siren Speak show. Everything that I am telling you is my own thoughts, okay? None of this has been proven to be real and or fact, okay? This is just me thinking outside of some box that I created, okay? Right. What is the initial role, you guys? The initial role must be important if they're trying to change it. Okay, if they're trying to denounce it. Now, listen, I understand that what it is that I'm about to say is very, very, very powerful and very critical. So I'm just going to tell you guys, the thing may start to act up. It may start to kick a few of you out. If you are getting kicked out, that means there's a telltale sign you need to work on your frequency. Okay, you need to work on your frequency because not many people will vibrate to this knowledge. Okay, so what is the initial role? What is your initial assignment when you get here? Right? So, the initial assignment, you guys, is what they call a sailor, right? You guys have heard of a sailor or a seafarer. Seafarer, I think they call it, right? Refer to it like a sailor or a seafarer or someone who travels, okay, aboard a ship. Okay, or a water vessel or a marine vessel or something of that nature. You're probably saying, Siren, how the hell are we sailors? How are we sailors? How are we traveling through water? First of all, you get here through water, right? When you're born, okay, or when you are growing, you're inside of water, which means you vibrate towards something called maritime, okay, law. Right? So we all need to look up and understand maritime law. That's first and foremost, okay? This is how you win in the warfare, okay? So we must first understand maritime law, okay, or admiral law, right? That's first and foremost because when we arrive here, you guys, our body, okay, which is the vessel that we choose, right? It comes and it arrives through water. So it has to come out and then it is born into this dimension, right? However, you probably say, well, we're no longer in water. Yes, we are. We are just in a different frequency of water, but we are still in water, which means that we are all sailors, okay? We are all sailors, and our role is to travel, okay? And, oh God, let me see, how did I write this? Let me write this, see how I wrote it down. Our role is we are traveling by sea. We are traveling by water as sailors, all of us, okay? And we are operating this vessel, which is the ship, which is the body, which has the cargo. Now listen, you're probably saying, okay, so I'm a sailor who works a ship. This is your ship. And the ship holds the precious cargo that is to be, distributed or whatever. So what is the cargo that we are holding? We first know what cargo is. Cargo is goods being transported throughout. So you have to think about what are the goods that you are transporting. This is water, you guys, okay? This is just a very different realm of water. But when you look at a lot of the ships, okay, what do they call it? A space ship. Okay, which means ships travel through water. So regardless of the fact that they're saying this is air, okay, but we are still consuming a percentage of water with every breath, which is why our body can hold so much water. Remember, our body, according to a lot of scientists, is made up of at least 70% water. So we have to be breathing. If we're able to urinate, you know how long you can go without consuming water? Okay, and your body is still producing and you're still urinating, even though you haven't consumed any water. So now we're in the ocean, we're in this water. We are always under maritime law. Always. This is what you need to know, and this is what you need to keep in your mind. This is how you break out of the third dimensional way of existing. So you are the sailor, your soul, okay, is the sailor, which is operating the ship. The ship holds the precious cargo. Now, what is the precious cargo? We know what cargo are the goods. So what is it that our body is holding that is considered the goods? Okay. Our body is holding, okay, genetic material. Okay. Our body is holding genetic material that we are transporting it throughout the body via the bloodstream, which means just by you living in a specific city, state, wherever, you are contributing those goods to this world. You are keeping the lights on, okay, with just your body itself. Your body is like the electricity that keeps this place going. You're vibrating, okay, with every cell in your body. That is what your cargo is. So by you moving, you think that everything is coincidental. You are being placed and pushed into different cities and states and jobs and this and that, because without you, that company cannot keep going. So what happens when we get here? They program us, okay, reprogram us, okay, to believe that we are now a corporation. And a corporation has got to get the birth certificate, right? It has got to get the corporate ID. What is the number, oh God, that we get? The tax ID, the EIN, but they change it to a, SSN. We got to get that. So you get the certificate of when this corporation, whenever you start a company, you get your certificate that shows when this corporation was created, when it was born, and then you get your tax ID. Same thing. So when you're born, your parent, who's pretty much the pair that rent you, they're liable for you. Okay, they have this temporary custody of you. They then sign you over as a corporation, and you now have to live by the laws of a corporation, not a seller. So the minute we're born, the minute we become of age, we have to get everything to live as a corporation. This is why we have to pay taxes. Sailors do not pay taxes. Okay? You are on a mission as a sailor. Your soul, okay, is inside of the precious ship, which is your body, which is carrying the cargo, your DNA, the electric energy that you give off, okay? The negative and positive energy that you give off. That is the cargo that you are delivering to their cities, to their states, to their countries, to their businesses, all of that stuff. So I don't want you guys to think that for any way or any day you are irrelevant. You are a necessary part of this entire thing. You have to know what game you're playing. You have to know your role. If you don't know your piece on that board, then how are you going to play the game? You must first find out what game this is. You must first find out who you are, what you are, your purpose. Okay? Now, if you want to continue to live under the third dimensional laws, which is why they then create their own laws and things of that nature, if you want to continue to live under those laws, then hey, it is up to you, but you have to know that you have a choice. Remember, God gives you a choice. God is giving you this information. You have a choice. So you got to look at, a lot of us are saying, I don't get it. I'm not happy, and I'm check by check, and I'm dollar for dollar. As with every corporation, a corporation is only as good as the numbers it did last month. Okay? A corporation is only as good as the numbers it did last month. You are only as good as the amount of money that you brought in the house last month. You just better hope this month it be the same amount. Okay? So the reason that we are, suffering the way that we're suffering is because we're not living under our authentic energy. You must find and seek your authenticity. Okay? You must find and seek your authenticity. This must be an emergency because I told you I was going live. Hold on, y'all. What happened? Babe, that's not an emergency. All right. The one for Taylor? Oh, white. Okay. I'm gonna be off in a little bit. Yeah. So we are just as good as the last thing that we did yesterday. Right? So now that you understand, you guys, or anybody have any questions about this? Because I know this, y'all probably wasn't expecting this, but with the upload, okay, they can upload a corporation, but they can't upload the seller. They can't upload your authentic self. Okay. They cannot upload. This is why there are going to be more storms that are going to be coming in the future because we don't understand this. We don't understand this aspect of life right here. Okay. Let me see. Anybody have any questions, y'all? Okay. Shout out. Hey, Terrence. Terrence in the building. Hey, Terrence. Hey, y'all. Okay. So understanding now that we need to look up. So I'm telling y'all need to look up and y'all need to research. Okay. Admiral or maritime law and understand how it works. Okay. Once you understand that, this is a part of you going back into your authentic self. Okay. We're talking about the uploads that has begun. Okay. The uploads, what are the uploads? So as you can see, I told y'all with a lot of this CGI stuff. Okay. I'm trying to see what that says. Okay. With a lot of this CGI stuff, that's where the upload is. A lot of the people that we're seeing, a lot of the things that we're seeing, is coming up as CGI and, being presented to us as if it is something sincere and genuine when it is not. You guys are definitely going to have to trust your intuition, okay? Because a lot of these messages, okay, a lot of these stories are not what we think they are. For example, let's just think about everyone who perhaps passed away, and let's just come to find out that they haven't passed away, right? A whole thing was staged to make you guys believe that, all of these people have passed away when they haven't. They've literally still been living, but in a different, energy, in a different time. Okay. A lot of things that we've been programmed to believe, you guys, we have to really tap into the real. Okay. Hold up. Jen, you say, how do we know whenever we reach out our authentic self? How do we know whenever we reach out to our authentic self? One thing about your authentic self, it is very direct. Okay. For example, let's talk about the authentic response versus the ego, because either one or two things is going to respond: your authentic self, the ego, or you can have an outside influence. Okay. Now, the outside influence very rarely kicks in. The only time the outside influence will kick in is if your ego is not available. Okay. Because the outside influence will always influence your ego. That's the easiest thing for it to do. It don't even have to, it's like the outside influence has a assistant, and that's your ego. So whenever you reach out to your higher self, let's say, give an example. Higher self, oh, higher self, I really hate this job that I work at. What should I do? Higher self is going to say, quit. Find something you like to do, right? Ego will say, well, if you quit and find something you like to do, then how do you know if that's going to work out? And how do you know if you're going to be able to pay your bills? How are you going to pay your bills if you quit? I would say just hold on to the job, because at least you know how much money you're going to make. How do you know if you're going to be able to survive? The ego will always respond with a question, right? It'll always say, well, how do you know? Or what if? What if you quit and then you're not able to find a job in time? The higher self will always respond with a very direct answer. It's just because the higher self is so direct and the higher self trusts itself, it doesn't give a what if scenario, because it knows that you're going to choose the best thing for you. So the ego tends to kick in, and the ego will be like, well, what if you quit the job and you don't find something for a year and you end up homeless? What if you do this? So you trust when it comes to your higher self, because it's very direct. We all have been in situations where we've gotten that direct answer, and that ego kicks in after. So the direct answer, as far as the relationship, some people are like, should I stay or should I go? And the higher self says, go, just leave. And then the ego is like, well, if I leave, then how do I know if, it'll start asking all of these questions. It'll start make you questioning yourself. So the ego, and not that the ego is a bad thing, it's just the ego is very cautious and the ego is very physical. So the ego, everything has got to make sense. The ego likes everything to be lined up, right? So it's very physical. It's very 3D. But the higher self is very spiritual. It manifests itself. It's from the energy of darkness. And darkness does not mean bad. It means anything's possible. Anything is possible in this energy. You can quit this job and you can find another one tomorrow. And even if you don't find another one tomorrow, you will be okay until you find another one. But because that is not, in place for us, that's not enough. We need to know ... So we don't trust the higher self a lot, because we need okay, so what do I do? And the higher self is just like, trust yourself. Start putting in job applications. Trust the process. Be okay. Be confident. Believe in yourself. Know that you are not going to let you fall. So the higher self is the part or the parent that lets go of the bike. But the ego is going to not only hold on, because you have some parents who are afraid to let go. Like, oh my God, I can't let my child fall. They're so afraid to let go. They have the kids on all type of, protective gear, but the parent is afraid. So now the parent is projecting its fear onto the child. So that's what the ego does. The ego projects its fear onto us. And the thing about it is that it keeps us stuck, because then we stay in relationships or jobs or lifestyles that have expired and that don't serve us anymore. And the last thing you want to do is have something that has expired in your life still being active in your present. It needs to be in the past. If it has expired, it needs to be in your past energy. If you're carrying something that has expired into your present and trying to bring it into your future, this is when you're going to start to feel stuck. Some of us, we have people. They're in the past. They've expired. Let them go. Stop trying to carry them into your future, because you will never get to the future, because that person is not a part of your future. Okay? Some of us, we have jobs or careers that are not a part of the future. Okay? These are supposed to be a part of your past. So we have to learn to leave things in our past comfortably, right? But we become so secure. I tell my clients all the time, we build our own gilded prison. We make our prison so comfortable to be in that it's like, well, I might be in prison, but this is a comfy sofa. I love this bed. It feels good. The temperature is great. I'm not moving forward, but I'm at least comfortable right here in my present. And this is where I tell a lot of my clients that success What we know and what we want as success is the most uncomfortable position to be in. If you're not waking up every day scratching your head, then you are not in the energy of success. Failure or lack or regret, all of that comes with a beautiful sofa, a comfortable bed, fluffy pillows. And a lot of us, we're holding our own self hostage in these situations, in these experiences. Okay? Shout out to you, Jen. You say that makes a lot of sense. Shout out to you, Jen. Okay? Now, this is leading us to the storm. Okay? So the upload begins. We understand what it is that they're doing. Okay? We see a lot of the stuff. It doesn't make sense. We're looking now at all the things we've been told, and we're looking at things totally different now. The upload has begun. The battle is now on, because what are you going to be battling? You're battling for your real, authentic experience. You're battling for your truth. You're battling for access to your generational wealth, which is the knowledge. We have to stop thinking generational wealth is money. Money is connected to the dead folk. There is not one live person on the money. It is connected to the deceased. It's necromancy. Money is a spiritual practice. The art of receiving money and using money to pay for goods is a ritual. So although they tell us that spiritual practices are evil, wicked, and demonic, theirs seem to be quite legit. It's necromancy. You're working with the dead. You're believing in the dead. You're working for the dead. Okay? So that's first and foremost. When you ask for your generational wealth, you need to know what you're asking for. A lot of people, well, I want my 40 acres and a mule. Well, you got to have the knowledge as to how to get it and where to look for it. And not only that, the knowledge as to what it really is. Is that what you guys think? That the ancestors before you left a stack of money? Something that has no value? You can't even pay your way out of the third dimension. You got to earn it. Your heart has got to be as light as a feather. There's no money connected to that. Okay? The wealth is the knowledge as to how to get your heart to be as light as a feather so that you can pass through judgment. And judgment doesn't mean, oh, we're going to go to some shiny yellow brick road heaven. It just means you're going to go into another level. Okay? And in that level, you will have a responsibility there as well. Okay? You will have a responsibility there as well. This is not your first time at the rodeo, y'all. Okay? This is not your first time at the rodeo. So we have to know really why we're here and what it is that we came here to do, right? So if you are working as your sailor, like you're the sailor, and you're working and you're delivering this precious cargo, I told you what the cargo is. You're delivering this precious cargo throughout. You are literally doing a job just by being here, just by existing. They are working and utilizing you. You are a piece inside of the computer. You've ever broken down a computer or seen the inside of a computer, and there are so many little intricate pieces. I mean, just so many little things. You are a critical part in there as well, because if you take one of those little pieces out, you can stop the whole system. Okay? One little piece. So regardless of how big the piece is or how small the piece is, they are all critical into making this machine work. You are a piece in this machine that makes it work. You are a critical piece in this third dimension that makes it work. Where is your Okay. What are you receiving for that? Social Security? Is that what they're promising us? Well, I'll give you some Social Security. Okay. And with all of that, you guys, with them telling us a lot, let me get into this next message. Okay. Preparing for the storm. All right. The need to prepare for the storm. Now, when the storm comes, I always tell you guys, we are going to have storms. Please do not think that there will be no storms. Do not think that there's ever a point in your life that you will experience no storms, no trauma. You will always have a storm. It may come more frequent than others. It may come way later in life. It may come at some point. It may always come. You may feel like you're always in the storm, but remember, the sailor will have to weather the storm. The sailor will have to make sure that he's able to control that ship, okay, and work and save that precious cargo when that storm comes. But a sailor is a very smart sailor when he's able to look and see when the storm is going to come. Or is he going to wait until that storm is brewing right in front of him before he does something about it? So you guys, we have to really trust and tune into our intuition because it always prepares us for a storm. It'll let you know either via your dreams, or sometimes it'll let you know via synchronizations, or, it's different for all of us. Some of you, it may be via songs on the radio, music that you listen to somewhere else, a television show, something you see on TV. It could be a big sign. I remember for me back in my day, right? It will always be via dreams. I will have certain dreams that just let me know certain things are going to happen. I mean, and these dreams were so on point. Okay. I always knew when my boyfriends were cheating, or, the talk. Okay. I always knew because I would have certain dreams that just told me certain things. Okay. So you were at your mom's house. I always knew, and my intuition never deceived me. So I always trusted it before I trusted them. Right. But, listening to your intuition now is going to be very critical because it is your inner compass. We all have an inner compass. A compass was just created based upon somebody who said, well, there's this thing going on the inside of me. Let me see if I can build it from what I know it does for me. And they came up with the compass. But we all have our inner compass. If ever you have to look outside of you for an answer, you're already looking in the wrong spot, okay? You always want to go within to find the answers, okay, to whatever it is that you need. The last thing we want to do is go to a place, okay, that they've programmed us to go to for knowledge, right? What is it? It's always one or two things, right? It is either the library, which why would we want to go somewhere looking for the truth from a place that starts with the word lie? Okay. Now, we also have the World Wide Web now, which again, is it going to keep us stuck? Because now we have the web. Who wants to get caught up in the web looking for knowledge? The truth is always within. Okay. This is where you're going to find the answers. It's just that sometimes the answers can be so direct that we feel like, what? And we don't trust those answers right away. And we got to make sure that we do that. We got to make sure that we trust those answers. We got to make sure that we continue to have faith in ourselves, you guys. This is how you're going to build, okay, who you really truly are. And you can build the life that you want off of your intuition. Your intuition is going to guide you, and you just got to trust it, because sometimes your intuition may say, hey, leave that job. Hey, quit this job. Start doing this. You're going to be like, what? So there are so many people that I've worked with, right? A lot of them are like, when they ask for stuff, I say, well, what do you see for yourself? What do you want for yourself? Right? And they'll tell me a lot what it is that they want. But when I start to let them know what it requires in order for them to get that, sometimes they be like, wait, what? The sacrifice, right? And for every gain, there's a sacrifice. And they're like, it takes what? I have to do what? And the first thing, they have to do is trust themselves. I always say you have to trust the process. That's the first part, trusting the process, because you guys, we have been raised in an environment that is just so backwards. Okay. It makes absolutely no sense. When you get into the real of what it really is, you will see that this makes no sense. Okay. It's like, wait, what? It is so backwards. It's ridiculous. Okay. A lot of us self-love. Self-love is trusting yourself. You are not going to let you fall. Okay. Even when we have people who take themselves out, right? You will always see that they have an outside source that they were connected to, some sort of depression or some sort of anxiety or some sort of, outside, conversations with other things. It's never the person that takes themselves out. It's always some outside energy that has attached to the person. Okay? And a lot of times it is that person screaming to get that energy out of their body. And they feel like, okay, this is the final answer. So it's never really the actual, I want to go, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I really truly, there's always some outside attachment that is connected to that. Okay. There's no place like home, you guys. We're all Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz trying to find out how to get back home. Okay. But it's just Glinda done tricked us because Glinda made us think she was the good witch. And come to find out the whole time, Glinda didn't want to kill the Wicked Witch of the East or her evil, whatever the other witch, but she used Dorothy to kill her. So now, guess what? The murder gonna fall on Dorothy, not Glinda. Glinda showed up with a whole bunch of little munchkins who she's ruling and manipulating and got them building a road while she's sitting in her dang on castle. Glinda, I gotta ask you some questions, Glinda. Why were those munchkins afraid of you? Okay. And why did you use Dorothy to kill your sister? You was envious that your sister had them slippers on. That's what you really wanted. You knew long as your sister had them slippers on, she was going to be inheriting the wealth. Right? Because the sister, if we look at the bad green witch, she saw, the other one, Dorothy, as a threat because she knew Dorothy was being manipulated by Glinda. Glinda is the one that come out and make it look like she's all good and she can't stand you or y'all. Glinda wants control. Glinda wants power. Okay? Glinda wants the biggest castle. Glinda wants everyone to love and admire. Glinda wants people to idolize her. See, that's what I'm saying. See, they programmed y'all to look at the little green witch and they programmed y'all to think the one who the house fell on was bad. We didn't see her do anything. What did we see her do? Did anybody in here see her do anything? Okay. Anything horrible? Anything bad? But we are always programmed which way to look. Now, the entire time, that's why I say Glinda. See, Glinda was a little wicked to me. Glinda was just very manipulative, and I feel like she manipulated Dorothy. Because in the end, they told Dorothy, well, Dorothy, you could have went home at any time. You didn't have to go through any of that. Why didn't Glinda tell her that right then and there? Glinda sent Dorothy a little arse on that yellow brick road with them pumps on. Glinda sent Dorothy right there. Just go that way. She lied to Dorothy from the beginning. And then came in the end and say, you didn't have to do none of that, Dorothy. You could have just clipped your heels 3 times and you could have went home like this. But none of us saw Glinda for who she really truly is. It is the entire manipulation of the Matrix. Glinda is all of those folk that's allegedly running things. They want you to believe that they're running things, but really you're running it, but they want you to give them the power, because if you feel like they're running it and not you, then guess what? That's what it is. It's what you say, because guess what? You're the boss. If you give them the power, and you give them the power to run things and everything like that, that's what you're doing. You're voting for someone to be in control and power and run over your reality. And the entire time they're playing Glinda the Good Witch. All you have to do is walk down that yellow brick road with those red pumps on. Put on those little red pumps and get to stepping, Dorothy. That's what they're doing to all of us. And the entire time, what did they say? She did not have to go through that journey. Dorothy, you could have went home at any time. All you have to do is clap these shoes 3 times. Glinda told her to put the shoes on that they was going to protect her down the yellow brick road. Glinda did not tell Dorothy she had to clamp them 3 times and they would take her home like this, because Glinda is the original manipulator. Glinda is the one making everybody think that she's the one in the nice house, and Glinda is the wickedest of them all, because that can't be trusted. See, at least the other witches, they let you know. They was not trying to wear a mask. They were not trying to dress up in pretty gear. They letting you know, listen, this is a game and I'm trying to win too, and I'm coming for you. Glinda manipulated Dorothy just like that green witch that was sending them flying monkeys and stuff. Because Glinda sent Dorothy out there to get attacked. She lied to her. She sold her a fairy tale and told her all she had to do was make it to the Emerald City, okay? And talk to the wizard, which we all know what the wizard is, the warlock, the magician, okay? So why would you send me to this damn warlock who was sitting there manipulating the entire thing, making it seem like he was something big and he had power, and he had no power to send her home? So why did Glinda lie to Dorothy? Why? Why did Glinda make Dorothy believe that she had to go see the wizard in order to get back home? But see, the thing about it, you guys, Dorothy didn't get mad. Dorothy didn't say, Glinda, where you at? Come here. Dorothy did not yell at Glinda. She did not get mad at Glinda. Okay? She couldn't get the scarecrow his heart and the lion his courage. You know? She couldn't get them that because the wizard could not give them that. They promised these people things that they could not deliver. So now we have the truth. Dorothy said, okay, Glinda, hating ass, I see what you did, but it's all good, because I met some new friends along the way. And the journey was more important than the deception, because I was able to learn and grow and meet. And you guys, this is where I say you have to let go of all of that resentment, because listen, these people are going to wear all type of masks to deceive you. They will pretend to be nice. They will pretend to love you. They will pretend to care, and don't at all. They don't wish you well. They don't want you to win. They don't want to see you thrive. They don't want to see you level up. Okay? They are there the entire time to deceive you. The entire time, Glinda could have said, hey, green witch sis, leave alone. Glinda got all this power with a little wand. Oh, I have this wand. I can bloop to the shoes. I can bloop, but she didn't use that wand not one time to help Dorothy out, okay? To stop all of those things. They done sent her through the poppy seeds, trying to make her sleepy and stuff. Remember, they had to get through the poppy seeds and all of that, trying to get over there as soon as they got close. They tried to make them sleepy and put them to sleep. Y'all, we are all Dorothy. But hopefully you will be a different form of Dorothy. You will be the form that sees Glinda for who she really is. You will be the form that can use your intuition, and your intuition will tell you the truth. Your intuition will guide you, and you will have to trust, okay? That. You have to trust that more than this. I told you guys when I went inside of that grocery store and I saw those young ladies, it looked like two young ladies was coming down the aisle. They had a cart with some groceries inside of it, and they were getting closer and closer and closer to me. And I went to the end of the aisle, which was just a few feet away, and I made a U right there at the end of the aisle. And they were gone. Not there at all. So we have so many people who are CGI who are here. We have time travelers who are here. We have people from the future who are here. I've run into time travelers as well. Well, I see them in the weirdest places recording that I'm like, why are you standing here by a building recording like a dumpster with 4 chairs? See, why are they sitting there? They got their phone out like this, just filming a dumpster with 4 chairs. I saw one of them. He was at a 4-way street light, okay? And he's just standing at the street light recording. Now listen, this is how I knew he was a time traveler, because I was at the gas station. My husband and I both, we were at the gas station, and my husband said, why is he standing there recording at the street light? And I looked and I say, that is so strange. So I went to get my phone, okay, which I'm standing right there in the car, right? And I went to grab for my phone and I say, I'm going to record him. So when I went to do that, my husband kind of like, went to put the gas thing in, and I went to turn back. This guy was gone. It literally was a split. I just grabbed my phone. Boo, let me get it. Let me record. We're looking all over. He's gone. There's no way he could have just disappeared because he's at a busy 4-way street light. We would have seen him get in a car. I only turned for a split second and he was gone. So time traveler, coming and these are the things that when we see changes or whatever, listen, y'all, they tapping into this stuff way before us. Okay. They tapping into this stuff way before us. But in order for us to move forward, you guys, in order for us to time travel into our future, we got to let go of the false programming. Okay. We got to let go of who we are, what we are, why we're here, and all of the crazy things that we have been programmed to believe, because a lot of them were put in your eyes to deceive you, to get you to, believe in something that you should not be believing in. That belief system alone is going to keep you stuck in a dimension that you don't want to be in. Okay. Hey to everyone who's tuned in. Hey, Sleepy Rob. Did you travel through the poppy seeds? Were you not able to get out, Sleepy Rob? Okay. So the mark of the beast. Let's talk a little bit about the mark of the beast. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the mark of the beast, you guys. When I thought about the mark of the beast, because it just popped up as an idea, as a thought, right? And good job. You made it because you're here, right? You made it because you're here. Good job. So I thought about the mark of the beast, you guys. And I'm wondering, why is it that I'm thinking about the mark of the beast? So we all know the mark of the beast is supposed to be this chip, right? That was placed inside of, or will be placed inside of folk, right? We're all thinking that this is something to happen, something that will occur, something that will happen. What if it has happened already? What if the mark of the beast, we are the people of that mark? The mark of the beast, and this is just Siren speaking on the Siren Speak Show. These are just my thoughts, you guys. These are just crazy ideas that I came up. Nothing that I am telling you is fact. It is just little crazy things that I think about in my head all day long. Okay? So, and please receive this information as entertainment. Okay? Now, the mark of the beast has happened already. What if the little chip that we thought was going to be implanted in the future has already been implanted? Okay. What if it is the reason we have been easily programmed? Because for them to be able to program us through television, it's like, dang, like, I don't get how something as simple as a TV show or a movie could program someone, right? If it's music, why am I moving to this music so easily? Why do I move to this song a lot more than this song? How is it that you are able to program us and for us to be so susceptible to the programming? What if the chip has already been placed in you? Because we know when we're born, we get all type of spook soon as you're born. There's something that has got to turn you into a corporation. And those who are able to be turned into a corporation must be those with the mark of the beast. That way, you no longer vibrate towards admiral laws or maritime law. Those before us did not have a birth certificate or social security number. Only thing that has a certificate of birth and social security number were corporations, known as the EIN, the tax ID, and the certificate of when you created this corporation. So why the need to turn us into a corporation? What if the initiation of the mark of the beast is something that took place a long time ago? Think about the first birth certificate, you guys. They were not given birth certificates or social security. Why was the initiation of the social security card and the birth certificate given? Because people were not receiving that before, which means there were no corporations. There was the barter system. There was nothing, in fact, there was no, exchange of finances, no currency. Now, when currency became involved and they started to turn it into a ritual of necromancy, meaning using the energy of the dead, okay, because that's what corporations are. They vibrate off the energy of the dead, the deceased. Corporations stay alive, based upon the money that they get, the money that they make, and things of that nature. And we somehow became a corporation. When? When did we agree to that? When did we say, okay? And when did nature say it's okay? When we stepped out of nature, which means we stepped out of our original self in some way, in some time. And the mark of the beast, which is that little chip. And remember, everything that goes on inside of you will manifest itself outside. I don't care who you are. Life is a mirror. It can only mirror back to you what's going on inside of you. And if you got a debit card with a chip, if you got a phone with a chip, your computer has a chip, your cookie has a chip, then you may possibly have a chip too. We're thinking the mark of the beast is a prophecy. It was a prophecy years ago, y'all. The prophecies that you're reading are not things that are to come. That's why we keep waiting for it to come. We keep waiting for, it says in the book of Revelations. It says in the book of Revelations. It says in the book. It has already been revealed because they have already seen it and it has come to pass. You are the revelation. That's why you keep looking for the mark of the beast. You keep looking, but the reason you're even hearing about it or you know about it or it's in your reality in some way is because it is just letting you know. What if? This is a revelation that has already come to pass. It's not, oh, in the future, there will be the mark of the beast. That was a future that was prophesied hundreds of thousands of years ago. The mark of the beast may already be within you. Okay? That's why it's in your phone. That's why it's in your computer. It wasn't, when before they lived without this, there was no prophecy of the mark of the beast. Their books, their knowledge, their tablets had different information. Okay? The mark of the beast was not in what it was that they were thinking or heard about. They heard about other different planetary things that was to come, different, revelations and different prophecies, but it was more prophecies of their own, But they knew eventually that the mark of the beast was to come. And we're thinking this is something that is to come. This may be something that has already happened. We are the product of the mark of the beast. We brought Apple out. We brought technology out. We brought the World Wide Web out. We are the prophecy. The mark of the beast will then initiate the technology takeover. The new world war, which is now man versus machine. Machine was first a chip. It was first a chip. It was the first initiate of control, of power over man and mankind. I would say mankind, but I'm a little confused about mankind because I don't know about them. Okay? But the mark of the beast was the first step to control. And if you don't find out, if you don't get the information you need, if you don't know where it is, if you don't know that this thing is already a part of you and in you, it is what is driving you to overeat, drink a lot, have addictions, watch certain movies, wear certain clothes, eat certain foods. It was the beginning of taking you away from your spiritual self, from the divine feminine, from the energy of your soul. It was a way to disconnect the soul from the body. It was a way to keep you driving, but you're so drunk, okay, that you're no longer able to control the wheel or know where it is you're going, which would then give them, the chip, access to come in and take over. Okay? So the mark of the beast, you guys, and like I say, this is just Siren speaking, and please take this conversation as a mere form of entertainment, okay? Nothing I say is proof or has been proven to be true or facts. However, it is definitely entertainment, okay? So a lot of you are probably saying, okay, well, if I have the mark of the beast already, because we keep looking for it. Y'all keep looking for it. It's right in front of your face. It can only mirror itself back to you. It's not something that will occur. It's something that has already happened. Okay? It has already happened, and it is happening. You guys see now these babies are being born. Before they go home, they got about, 16 shots. Okay? And now you have to bring them back, which means now we're incorporating something to, it's another whole situation that's about to begin. Now, my theory of it is this. Now, I've said this to y'all before. My theory of it is when you think about Batman, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, Superman, y'all, these are all programs. These are all programs that they got us believing in. Superman, okay, was coming to initiate Spider-Man, okay? Now, Superman was the one who I don't, the people who represent the generation of Superman. Okay, so we have Superman who comes through, and remember, Superman was the one who started to awaken, right? To spirituality. He started to awaken to these superpowers that he had, right? So we have the initiation of Superman. This was the first set of people, I think, that initiated the mark of the beast. Okay, so we have to put the program in them because these are the people who are going to awaken to their powers, their superpowers, who they really truly are. So we want to be able to control and manipulate those powers. So we're going to insert this in them as a baby. Boop. Okay. Then you have the Supermans who then gave birth to the babies, and then we have Spider-Man. Okay. So what it is, it could be an initiation of a shift in Dana. Okay. When they shift Dana, they shift the frequency and the vibration, which can then help them to initiate their agenda or integrate their agenda. So now we have Superman, which was the first phase. The second phase was Batman. I'm sorry, was Spider-Man. I need y'all to just follow me a little bit on this. Spider-Man was the next round of the Mark of the Beast integration to bring about the World Wide Web. Spider-Man, World Wide Web. I tell y'all, this is how we type. Just like a damn spider. You notice that? We don't even write anymore. This is what they had us doing all through the late 80s, early 90s, 2000. It was this. Just like a spider. You're using what? 8. Spider has 8 legs. Okay? And we brought about the World Wide Web. And the more we, activated, the bigger it got. So now we have the next integration, which is Batman. Hey, Coco. Y'all seen what happened in 2020? What did they say started it? People were consuming or eating what? Bats. It was the activation of the bat energy, which will now integrate the flying cars. Okay, you see, they're using your energy. I told you guys you guys are chargers. Your energy vessels. Okay, so now we have the integration of the Batman. Okay, and Batman comes through, and what? He's going to bring about the flying cars. So now we have Tesla and all of them finally coming out with their first flying car. When it was the initiation of Spider-Man, we brought out the internet. Okay, Superman, I believe. Okay, Superman was the one who brought out more of religion. Okay. It was more of religious backgrounds and, certain things. Okay. I think that's what Superman was to bring out, but I'm not really sure about Superman because that was before my time. That was generations before us, but it's so many generations in this whole thing. So we got Superman, we got Spider-Man brought out the web. We got Batman bringing out the flying cars. And then, what was the other man? Iron Man. Okay, we got Iron Man that's popular now that recently, I think passed. Iron Man, I think after they bring out the flying cars, Iron Man is going to bring out the robots. Okay, Batman is going to introduce the flying cars and stuff. As y'all can see, we got drones now all of a sudden. Okay, and then we have Iron Man who's initiating the robots. That's when we're going to start people with more. You already have Alexa in your house. Okay, y'all got that little thing that be vacuuming the floor and stuff, and all of y'all bringing all these damn robots in your house, but it's your children. Okay, it's your young nieces and nephews that are bringing about this energy through what I consider to be the mark of the beast that has been implanted in majority of man. I don't think it's mankind. I think it's man, definitely being used to initiate and bring about these certain agendas. And these are the prophecies, okay, that are to come when I said the last battle will be man versus machine. Okay. So that is what we're going to talk about today, y'all. Okay. For those of you who want to work on your energy, you guys know, reach out and get you a consultation. Go to spiritualcandies.com. The link is in the description box, y'all, for y'all to go to. For those of you who haven't already, get you your September box. Okay. I keep telling y'all, get y'all September box, honey. Work on your frequency. This is how you're going to be able to win. This is how you're going to be able to rise. This is how you're going to be able to get out of this energy. Now, when it comes to the mark of the beast, you're probably saying, okay, if it's in me, how do I get it out? Because you can get it out. I don't know if you want to get it out, because if you get it out, listen, that's a battle I don't think we ready for, honestly. I ain't gonna lie. Because you don't just have, the folk coming for you. You have machines. So now we're looking into Terminator energy. You have machines coming from the future, okay, that will come and start to harass your arse, okay, that will come for you. Trust. Because they know that just like what his name was on a Terminator, Sarah Connor, and the little, she was giving birth to the baby, whatever his name, John Connor. Listen, she was giving birth to the little boy that was going to be able to remove that mark of the beast. And that's why the Terminators came from the future, because they say if he remove us here, we're not going to exist. He's going to be the one to come and destroy us. So we have to get rid of him in the womb. Okay. So if you are ready to remove this mark, you must be ready to deal with the battle that comes with it. And if you're ready for that, then you will be in that level. Okay. You will definitely be in that level. So shout out to each and every one of you. Like I said, y'all, get you a consultation with your girl. Go to spiritualcandies.com. Get you a nice, fat, juicy consultation, okay? For those of you who it will be your first time, get a general, okay, consultation, and see where it is that you are. See what it is that's going on with you and what it is that you need to know. If you haven't, I have some great products. Go there, get you some stuff, as well as our body washes, sprays, oils, all of that stuff, which will help your chakras to start to spin again. That's what we want, these chakras to start to spin again, so that you can activate this knowledge that is already within you, and you can stop seeking outside of self, okay, for the truth. Thank you guys again for tuning in, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye, y'all.